Let me tell you a story that'll make your coffee freeze mid-air picture. This you're standing on your porch at sunrise, mug shaking in your hand as four guys in tactical gear fan out around your truck, hands hovering over their weapons, shouting about HOA authority and threatening to haul your ride off for aesthetic violations. My wife appears in the doorway, face calm as mountain ice. She's clocking their every move. And I'm just thinking, am I in some kind of bad reality show? Or did the HOA really send an armed goon squad to my land before 7 a.m.? It was one of those Colorado mornings that should have started with steam rising from a mug and birds singing over the lake, not camera shutters clicking like gunshots. The first guy's snapping photos like he's building a case for the FBI. The second's got my F-150's hood up, poking around like he's looking for a cartel stash. The third is muttering into his phone, target confirmed, asset location verified, proceeding with enforcement protocol. You hear that and you know these aren't county inspectors. And the lake, my lake, the one that's been my peace since we moved in, suddenly feels like it's reflecting the end of the world. Their gears, two shiny uniforms, two crisp badges sparkling in the dawn light like they came straight out of a Halloween catalog. The leader tries to bark orders at my wife, bad move. See, Vivian spent a decade as an FBI tactical analyst before she traded crime scenes for yoga by the lake, and she's not buying their act for a second. Gentlemen, she says, her voice going full bureau, show me some real ID and explain what gives you the right to confiscate private property on land that's not even in your HOA. The men close in hands, inching toward holsters. Two black SUVs wait by the fence windows, tinted so dark you can't tell if it's a stakeout or a getaway. But let's rewind, because this isn't where the trouble started. Just a few months earlier, we'd finally bought our dream 15 acres of heaven, a glassy lake, a line of ancient oaks marking the border with Maplewood Estates. I'd checked with 3 different lawyers. Our land was clean, way outside the HOA's reach. We'd earned this. I was up with the dawn every day, tending the garden, fixing up the barn, hauling supplies with my old F-150. Vivian claimed the dock for sunrise yoga. Weekends meant fishing, grilling by the fire, friends driving out just to feel the kind of quiet you can't get in the city. Then one morning, Cordelia Whitmore breezed up in a Mercedes so spotless it looked allergic to dust. Perfect suit, perfect smile, and the kind of eyes that weigh and measure everything they see. "Good morning, Thorne," she said. "I'm Cordelia Whitmore, HOA president." The word president hung in the air like a storm warning. She starts with small talk, but pretty soon it's clear she's inspecting the truck, the house, the view from the road. "Technically, you're outside our jurisdiction," she says, "but what affects one affects us all." Her gaze lands on my F-150 like it's a rabid coyote. I hope it fits with the community standards. I tell her as politely as I can that we're not under the HOA, but we want to be good neighbors. She leaves with a smile that says she's just getting started. And a week later, there's a letter in the mailbox, gold embossed, thick as a legal summons. Per Maplewood standards, vehicles over 3.5 tons may not be parked outdoors in view from the public road within a 200-yard radius. The language is so dense it's practically a threat. I call, and the receptionist runs through her script. "It's about property values, sir. The standards apply to everyone nearby." The message is clear: comply or else. Neighbors stop making eye contact. At the store, I hear the whispers, "That's the guy causing trouble." Even the people who used to wave now steer their carts the other way. Vivian starts digging. Her FBI instincts never really turned off. She builds a dossier. Cordelia's a shark top of her law school, a specialist in property disputes, made millions acquiring land through creative enforcement. The next letter comes with a threat: $500 a day penalty starting on the 15th. "You are responsible for all costs and legal fees." It's extortion, pure and simple. I try to stay calm, but the fear is real. Cordelia has a playbook for this kind of fight. Vivian's not rattled. They're creating a paper trail, she says, to make it look legitimate for whatever comes next. Then come the inspectors, 3 men in navy uniforms, clipboard, tape measure, cameras. They walk straight onto my property, ignore me entirely. Section 15.3 of County Code, they say. Official business. I call the county. They've never heard of these guys. That night, there's a post on the community page: neighbor refuses reasonable requests, vehicle nuisance continues, property values threatened. The comments pile up, some people cheering them on, a few brave souls defending us and getting downvoted into oblivion. Vivian reviews the photos she took. The inspectors move like they're ex-military use, radios, earpieces, tactical boots, way beyond your average HOA contractor. Then one of the few neighbors who'll still talk to us. Fletcher pulls me aside. They're asking questions about you and Viven when you leave, who visits, who's around during the day. This isn't about trucks or paint colors. It's surveillance. A chess game, and Cordelia's playing 3 moves ahead. Thursday, 4 more show-up badges, uniforms, SUVs, Officer Cross-County Property Enforcement. We have a court order to impound your vehicle. The documents look legit, watermark signatures, the whole 9 yards. But Viven spots the flaws. Badge numbers are off. Their radio codes are wrong. They're using military signals. She calls the county. They've got no record of cross, no enforcement orders, no property division. She steps out and calls them on it, voice calm as a surgeon's. I've confirmed with the county, none of you are real officers. You're impersonating law enforcement on private property. Leave now, or I'm calling this in as a felony. Their leader Cross switches from bureaucratic to threatening. Final warning. Comply or face arrest. And just like that, 3 pistols are drawn, aimed at me and my wife right on our land over a made-up truck violation. But Viven's ready. The second officer grabs me, she disables his hand with a nerve strike and sends his gun flying. The third comes from the left. She flips him straight into the lake. Cross aims, but she rushes him, twists his wrist, and has his gun out before he can blink. I clock the 4th officer with a shovel handle. Thank you, barn chores. And the fight's over in 90 seconds. Nobody dead, nobody shot, all on video. Cross's radio is still live, and Cordelia's voice comes through, truck removed within 30 minutes. Payment authorized. No witnesses. The whole plot, her voice, her orders recorded for the sheriff. By the time real deputies arrive, Viven's got photos, IDs, even text messages linking Cordelia to the armed imposters. Cross's wallet has a private investigator license, business cards tying him to Cordelia's law firm. The sheriff's deputies are speechless. We've just handed them the evidence to blow open a 2-year conspiracy. Fake inspectors, harassment, fraudulent enforcement, all so Cordelia could force us and 5 other families to sell prime lakefront land at fire sale prices. Cordelia is arrested, handcuffed in front of her staff. I'm a respected attorney, she protests. The deputy replies, you're charged with conspiracy, impersonation, armed robbery, and organized harassment. News explodes. TV, Facebook, angry neighbors, other victims stepping forward. Cordelia tries to spin it online, but it's too late. I was protecting the community. The Blackwoods truck is an eyesore. But she's just confessed in public to hiring armed thugs. HOA calls a meeting. She's out, rules rolled back, and the board apologizes. Fletcher takes over as interim president, brings us cookies, and says, we're ashamed of what happened. We want to make this right. But the rabbit hole goes deeper. Phone records link Cordelia to a holding company out of Austin, buying up lakefront all over the county using these same dirty tricks. Our fight was just one chapter in a bigger, uglier book. Still, for the first time in months, peace returns. My F-150 sits by the water, no longer a red flag for bullies, just my old workhorse as it should be. Viven's back to yoga on the dock. We add security cameras, motion sensors, and keep our eyes open. But the nightmares have faded. What's the moral here? It's not that the system works or that justice always prevails. It's that sometimes the only thing that stops organized power is ordinary people who document everything, stand their ground, and refuse to back down, even when everyone else is too scared to speak. Justice. Real justice isn't just about jail time. It's about neighbors coming together after the dust settles, learning to trust again, and making sure nobody pulls this stunt on the next family. So here's my question. Where's the line between protecting community standards and abusing power? When does doing what's best for the neighborhood cross over into straight-up criminal territory? And have you ever seen an HOA president get led away in handcuffs for armed robbery? Drop your thoughts in the comments. What would you have done in my boots? And if you've ever stood up to a bully, HOA, or otherwise, tell your story below. Let's make sure the next Cordelia Whitmore thinks twice before trying to steal someone's peace. Your voice matters, so let's hear it.
Cảm ơn các bạn đã xem video.